All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Rough roads ahead. So the deep state spelled me, and my I had actually been able to block a thought they put in earlier to move my DMV form out of the drawer I had it in. So I started looking for it where I thought I moved it to. So it was actually back where it was. Now that is a possession of the mind. That's an example. They don't have to whammy the form. They can just whammy the entire episode, and they're physically operating it. They're hacking my phone around it, etc. And they're not saving anybody. The scam is we're saving the world by doing this. And again, he put for the children and laughed. And of course, he was totally gone, or she was still totally gone. Robin, the shooter there. Well, that's them. They'll tell they'll tell her in her mind, and they control the mind so you don't speak out. So she's afraid to speak out and can't, because they've already altered her mind. So for the children is something I can metaphysically analyze. They're in her head saying we're doing like harming her. I don't know how much she knew in her present mind, but she was harmed. She was being harmed for the children, having a bad life for the children. Like, we're doing this for the children. So she may not know where it's coming from, but they're in her subconscious, trashing her life and saying, we're doing this for the children. And that's what they tell themselves. Meanwhile, they're enriching themselves. They're making, political points. But again, it's organized crime and racketeering. And if it would, no matter what political party it is in, it is that. They're in my, uh, they're in my GPS also. They're spoofing me. I know where I'm going. They're spoofing me. So what they did is they blocked me. I believe they blocked me from the normal scheduling on the website, and then offered me one appointment. Like, oh, there's one appointment, I can get it, and I got it, and again, they're scheduling when I would leave my apartment. Could be time, could be they just want to be sitting there, to sit in their witches' covens. Again, it's at the level of a devil, so I'm making the difference that they're not only witches; each one is an independent devil. So they're all sitting around in their covens at their particular offices or in their vehicles taking a break from the day. And some are ICE officers. I'm not saying everybody in ICE is perfect, but again, that ICE mission needs to take place so we can get control of the immigration situation so we can protect everyone involved, including the immigrants. Right. Well, if somebody comes to the United States, they enter into a contract for amnesty, and that visa expired a year ago, 2 years ago, even under Biden, a lot of these expired. Then they have to go. If ICE looks at if ICE suspects that people were led into the United States with false hope of amnesty, they can go through those. 90 something percent of amnesty, that's abuse of immigrants. Offering amnesty where 90 something, or amnesty hope where 90 something percent of these cases are failing is criminal. They're supposed to come here on a work visa. But if you have thousands and thousands, probably I don't even know, what are we in the millions now or something, people waiting, then there's no work visas. It's abuse of immigrants. Here you can be, and then no, but it's Biden's fault. A lot of it. I told him how to handle it. But they're allowed to cancel those applications because it's fruitless for these people. And then we can't issue the work visas until we get to a certain point, which it looks like in the news that we're approaching that. Right. Now, I'm sure Miller and those people are saying, "Well, give the Americans a chance to work," but just like Miller and Loomer, they lived a spoon-fed life. Everybody else wants the spoon-fed life. They're not gonna sit there and do that kinda labor. I did that labor when I was younger, not in farms, but as a combat engineer in the Army and as a street crew. I joined the street crew at 16 in Warrington as a summer job. So I've done that uh, on and off throughout my life until I moved into law enforcement. As an NCO, I would do the labor part of it. There's no better way to get respect from combat engineers as to start lifting that heavy weight and working them minefields in the middle of the night with them instead of just supervising. He's on end with other stuff without sleep, harsh conditions, and the razor wire. I got a couple scars from razor wire. Laid me wide open. Well, because I do the work. Other people don't have it because they just lazy. I don't care if you. And when I was in the government, I didn't care if you were lazy. Just stay away from me and let me work. Or when I was in the army, same thing was kind of in the government, and they hate people. They hate people, and that's just the way they are. Right. So I'm almost to my appointment here, and I have my form, and should go easy. Hopefully, they didn't hack the computers at that place, but yeah, it's weird. I mean, they canceled the ability for me to uh, renew my registration at the kiosk, and they know by the hair of my chin made it. Again, it's the same thing happened last time. It spells they again mind possession. So in July, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to renew my thing, and then of course, the church started their stuff, everybody started their stuff, and they're whamming my mind. So is it physical? You can pound sand and go f off because you're sick at how well my mind really is. Right. I mean, you try to be tortured for 30 something years with their goal of making you a sex offender and or a violent shooter or bomber man or something. They're sick. They should be under the jail. That's the type of people they are. You can't even trust them to put them in jail. Right. So again, one of their scams is they're saving the children. So that's on that shooter's thing. It's a scam. They're not saving the children. I guarantee you that they have caused children to be murdered and raped. I guarantee it. Nobody's allowed to say anything that's part of it. Your cops know that they've caused kids to be harmed and have harmed kids psychologically. I'm not anti-police. I'm actually anti-corruption. You're all anti-police and corrupt. They'll kill cops in a second if they think the cop will never go corrupt. Wild. Like, the school looks a little better than when I first came here. We started healing it. Don't see that nasty sexual spells everywhere. That's how it works. Any young person, uh, the whole thing is this: any pedophile and any young person that has sex with a pedophile is cursed by the same type of thing. So both sides have to be healed. Now, once upon a time, again, God explained to me Again, I'm not pro sex with kids, but said that in ancient times, in all religions, up until, maybe even the, 1700s or so, right, young women would be raped and murdered if they didn't get married to a man. Somebody would eventually take them. So the man was actually the protection. Right? So they would marry at a young age. That way they would make it. I do think that the, what do you call it, femicide figures are bad today. You should have seen them back then. Correct. Hmm. So again, every religion has that element. And again, I'm not here preaching the glories of pedophilia. What I'm saying is when you attack Islam, you're all full of shit. Judaism and Christianity have it in there also. Right? You just don't see it. Right? Well, because it was a time and space where there was no way to keep young girls safe outside of marriage. Right? I do believe, though, in polygamy. I believe the original uh, thought process in Scripture was and is polygamy, because that's how it works for most people. It works better that way. Again, you can have a one wife your whole life and it works. But a lot of times, what I see in marriages when they go awry is the woman. Again, a guy goes to a mistress for sex, and some marriages they change. So if the man can then remarry or marry, not remarry, see, we get remarried and then we have to divorce. But again, remember, divorce was frowned upon. But why? Because why divorce when you can just marry another woman and put her into your marriage? The only person I think they suggested one wife was in the New Testament, uh, was a preacher, and I don't really understand that completely because I've seen situations where a preacher has a wife and the wife has a couple friends, and they set the things up in the church. Right? Maybe I think the preacher will be exhausted trying to handle three women at once. He couldn't take care of the church then. But again, that's the way the world. And again, psychologically, sociologically, polygamy actually could work better. Well, you wouldn't divorce. You would just get a new wife that, it sounds shallow, but again, the New Testament actually says the wife's job is to have sex with one of the parts of the wife's job is to have sex with the husband have sex with the wife. That's that. Okay. So that's what part of that subservient thing is. Paul speaks about getting married. He says, and his name is Shaul. It's never been Paul. Paul is like a scam name for those people. They all had Jewish names, and they changed it from Jewish names because they wanted to use it to abuse the Jews. There's Roman emperors and all sorts of people involved in changing Christianity outside of Roman Catholicism. The Baptists and the evangelicals don't have an unromanized New Testament. They have a Romanized and a Greekized. It's not the Hebrew New Testament. I can tell you what it is because I know what rabbis are and what rabbis say. Jesus was a rabbi. That's it. And his name wasn't Jesus. It was Yeshua. Not in a million years was his name Yeshua. Not in a million years was Mary's name Mary. It's Miriam. But you see how they can use that to harm Jews now because their names aren't Jewish names. So again, Christianity really doesn't exist that way. But within their scriptures is Judaism, and it explains things to the next level of explanation mystically. It's all mystical. It's all about the evil eyes and what the evil eyes are doing and the effects of evil eye causing sin. What's going on here? I think, hopefully, I'm going the right way. Looking like they may have got me. I don't know. We'll go this way a little bit and see if it works. Yeah, looks like I went too far north or something. Yeah, my app is definitely looking weird. Make a U-turn at North Ridgeville Road. See, Oh, maybe I can get into there. They may be spoofing me. I'm not sure. I'm in the area, that's for sure. Oh, actually, I think I go down that road right there. And I no, I'm getting close to the appointment. I got my time and all that. Still, I'm still good, but getting real close to it. I'd rather have been here earlier, but how to help with that trans stuff. Well, if we don't fix it, you're going to have other trans people have issue off of it. They're running them into the ground, and that's where the shootings come from. So if nobody supports them, like I can make an honest argument instead of a liberal argument. Same thing for conservative people that they do this to. Thanks, Lord. I think I go through. I guess right there. I'm right here. So there might be like 10 deep state people in here right now, just sitting there to curse me. Right. They're evil eyes. All right, I'm here. So corruption is rampant, but they do it's for the children. It's a scam. They're actually causing people to harm children so they can say, you need us. You'll need to allow us to do additional operations like this. Well, they point at their victim and say, that's just like that guy over there or that gal over there that committed that crime. Meanwhile, all the real people and again, if you're somebody in this world, I guarantee you have a crime in your life that they use to extort you. Right. Or try to, at least. So it's a scam. But if you don't have money in place, then it succeeds much better.